Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Monday, October 12th, 2020. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Welcome to the week. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. The weather kind of cooperated. We had a little bit of rain on Sunday afternoon, but I got to catch the Flick Jimmy Carter Rock and Roll President at Maryland Hall for the Creative Arts on Friday night, and that was in their front yard concert series thing. I also got to check out the new Smashing Grapes at the mall, and that gets a thumbs up from me. Well, it is Monday, so let's get into it. The Anne Arundel County Fire Department is investigating an arson, what they believe to be an arson, that was set in a house on the newly acquired annex to Quiet Waters Park on Friday afternoon. On Friday at about 1:30 p.m., firefighters responded to the report from an Anne Arundel County Park and Rec staff of heavy smoke coming from the roof of the single-family dwelling on the grounds of what they call the Quiet Waters Retreat. They also had reports of 2 juveniles that were not accounted for and possibly still inside the home. Ultimately, they were not inside the home. They were located a little bit later. Now, this home is actually located in an area without public water and more than 1,500 feet off of the nearest road, which was Forest Hill Drive in the Hillsmere community. Firefighters did need to carry equipment manually to the house, and they were only able to get one fire engine to the actual building that was on fire. The fire was brought under control in about 90 minutes. There were no civilians or firefighters that were injured, and the Anne Arundel County Fire and Explosives Investigation Unit has determined that the fire is arson, and they are continuing their investigation. Congratulations to Navy football. They got a win on Saturday, and boy, did they need it. Yes, the record now advances to 2-2, and they beat Temple 31-29. It was a tough game, and Temple actually came back at the very end. After they scored their 6-point touchdown, they tried for a 2-point conversion and failed, and then their final attempt in the last few seconds was an onside kick that obviously failed, and the game was won 31-29. The midshipmen were in the house. They had the brigade that was allowed to go there, which was kind of interesting to see them spaced every other seat throughout the lower section of the stadium. But a lot of the traditions did carry on. They did have a march on. They did get down and do some push-ups on the grassy hill. That's where the cheerleaders were. It's really kind of interesting. I'm glad to see fans back in the stands there. Also, a huge congratulations to Coach Niumatololo, his 100th win for Navy, and that he is only one of 6 active coaches that have won 100 games with the same school. The Senate Republican caucus this weekend selected Senator Brian Simonaire of Anne Arundel County as their new minority leader, and they also elected Senator Michael Howe as the minority whip. Now, Simonaire has been around since 2007 in the Senate, and the Democrats do hold a 32-15 advantage in that House. Simonaire did say in a statement that Senate President Bill Ferguson has shown a genuine willingness to work with all senators, and that the GOP caucus does look forward to working with him. So congratulations to Senator Simonaire. Dick's Sporting Goods has finished the renovations at the former Burlington Coat Factory store in the Gateway Village Shopping Center, which is right there by Best Buy. It's ready to open its doors to the public this weekend, the 16th to the 19th. Dick's will be celebrating their grand opening with discounts, prizes, giveaways, and there is a grand prize valued at $1,000, so you want to get in there and get into that. The hours are 9 to 9 on Friday and Saturday and 10 to 7 on Sunday, and typically the hours moving forward will be 9 to 9 Monday through Saturday and 10 to 7 on Sunday. If you are looking for a $10 coupon, head on over to eyeonannapolis.net. I've got one there for you. Dave Gendell is a lifelong Annapolitan and the author of a new book called The Thomas Point Lighthouse, a Chesapeake Bay Icon. And I was amazed to learn that nobody has ever written a book about the Thomas Point Lighthouse, but Dave took it upon himself to do it. He had spent his entire life around that lighthouse, spent a lot of time researching the history of it from the origins to the present, and for any fan of the Chesapeake Bay or lighthouses, and that lighthouse in particular, should definitely get a hold of this book, make it part of your fall reading, or would make a great Christmas or holiday gift. Through his research, Dave has become the expert on the history of this true icon of the bay, and one tidbit he told me was that the foghorns we usually hear that seem so soothing to some and irritating to others is not coming from the Thomas Point Lighthouse. Their foghorn's been disconnected for quite some time. The sounds you hear are foghorns from cargo ships that are anchored in the bay awaiting clearance to come into the port of Baltimore. You should be able to get copies of the books, if not now, in the coming days at Back Creek Books or Old Fox Books locally. They will be available at other local stores and venues. Fawcett's, Annapolis Maritime Museum come to mind, or you can go to Amazon, or you can get it from the publisher, which is the History Press. I did get a chance to connect with Dave, and we did have a good discussion about the book and about the lighthouse. You want to check that out. That dropped as a bonus podcast over the weekend. Oh, and another thing, Dave is donating a portion of all of his book sales to the preservation of the lighthouse so it can be enjoyed for generations to come. And speaking of bonus podcasts, we had another one drop over the weekend. Do you remember when there wasn't a square of toilet paper to be found in the area? Well, Lysol is still not readily available, and we wanted to talk to a couple retailers. We spoke with Jared Littman from K&B True Value Hardware and David Marburger from Bay Ridge Wine and Spirits to figure out what the difficulties were in managing inventories and second-guessing customer demand during a pandemic. Really kind of fascinating, the juggling that they do need to do to make sure that they have what you need in stock at both stores. Additionally, we talked about the program that K&B True Value started several years ago to help out our local schools. This year, Bay Ridge Wine and Spirits joined in, as did Severn Bank. And basically what they're doing is each business is contributing up to $5,000 in matching funds to anybody that shops at K&B True Value. So theoretically, there could be $30,000 going to the local schools because of this program. When you shop at K&B True Value through the end of the month, so make sure you get in there before the end of October, just designate what school you would like to make a contribution to, and maybe you can leave $1, $2, $5, $10, and it will be matched up to $5,000 from each of those businesses. So great job for the local schools. And I did check with Jared, and he said they're over the 10,000 limit, so they're working on Severn Bank's $5,000 contribution. So get in there, buy some stuff at K&B True Value, designate a school, and do some good for the schools that really do need it this year. All right, that does wrap it up for the news today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net for updates to these stories and more throughout the day. If you're someplace you can leave us a rating or a review, please do that. And let your friends and family and colleagues all know about how to get a hold of the podcast, how to download it, and how to subscribe. It is Monday, so of course we do have Anne Alsina with your Money Monday report. And as we have every day, George Young with your local DCMDVA weather forecast is standing by, and all of that is coming up after this brief message from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Monday, October 12th. After a nice Saturday and then a cloudy and ultimately rainy Sunday, we'll see more rain today across Anne Arundel County, with highs in the upper 60s to lower 70s, along with occasionally breezy winds before some clearing Tuesday, with highs in the 70s and continued breezy skies, ahead of a very nice pair of days Wednesday and Thursday with sunshine, and highs in the 70s each day before a cold front moves through Friday, bringing another chance of rain late week along with cooler temps, with highs in the low to mid 60s Friday before a chilly weekend with sunshine, and highs in the upper 50s to lower 60s each day. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DCMDVA weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DCMDVA weather in the Apple or Google App Store, and also follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and use our website each day at DCMDVAweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Annapolis may be Maryland's state capital, but it's also the sailing capital of the world. And whether you call Naptown home or are just planning a visit, a cruise on the Annapolis Maritime Museum's newly restored skipjack, the Wilma Lee, is a perfect opportunity to sit back, relax, and let the wind carry you across the water. Whether you're looking for front row seats to the Wednesday night sailing races, a guided sailing heritage tour, or an evening cruise to enjoy the extraordinary sunsets over the Chesapeake, a cruise aboard the historic Wilma Lee is the perfect way to connect the bay through both cultural and ecological lenses. The Annapolis Maritime Museum's making sure all safety protocols are undertaken, including social distancing and requiring masks while boarding. And the boat is open air, allowing plenty of space to socially distance. Tickets are available at amaritime.org. Private cruises are also available. Visit amaritime.org for more information.
You work hard for your money. Is your money working hard for you? Managing and investing, it can be confusing. Anne Arundel, a financial planner from CovingtonAlsina, has been helping people make sense of it all for over 17 years. Are you ready? Now here's your Monday Money Report.
This is Anne Alsina of CovingtonAlsina with your Monday Money Report. Last week, the market saw a sharp increase based on hopes of additional stimulus and expected positive earnings reports next week. Total unemployment also continues to decline. And we see questions coming in asking about the difference between investments and the type of account that holds the investments. Investments can be many different things, but are generally broken down into three things: stocks, bonds, and alternatives. Stock is ownership in a company. If you have a share of XYZ widgets, your investment increases or decreases with the value of the company. You may also receive dividends or a piece of the profit the company makes. Bonds are debt issued by a company or government entity. You receive interest payments, generally every 6 months, and then are eventually repaid the principal. Keep in mind that while bonds are generally safer than stocks, if whoever issued the bond goes under, you can lose your investment. Most investors don't own individual stocks and bonds, though. No matter how you're investing, most of us own mutual funds, which are professionally managed funds. The fund hires a manager to buy and sell stocks and bonds, usually with a specific mandate. For example, it might be a fund that invests in large U.S. companies or the bonds of companies in emerging economies like India or Turkey. This allows you to benefit from professional management and diversify your holdings with a relatively small investment. It also allows you to buy partial shares rather than saving up to buy one share of a particular stock. The third category is much more expansive. But alternatives are generally any investment that is not a stock or bond: real estate, commodities, options, and so on. Most of these are limited to larger investors because they are higher risk and may not be liquid. Then you have the type of account. There are two basic categories: qualified and non-qualified. Qualified accounts are accounts that qualify for special tax treatment from the IRS. Individual retirement accounts are IRAs, Roth IRAs, and your employer-sponsored retirement plans are all qualified accounts. Non-qualified accounts are just investment accounts that are taxed as you go along. Your IRA can hold stocks, bonds, or alternatives. Same with the non-qualified account. Which account type you choose is going to depend on the reason you're investing. Is this for retirement, college, a second home? Diversification applies not just to the underlying investments, but also to account type. With that in mind, October is Financial Planning Month. I firmly believe that everyone can benefit from working with a financial planner. Our lives have become increasingly complex with investments, insurance, mortgages, and taxes all playing a part. We're here to help. Check out our website at CovingtonAlsina.com or visit our Facebook page to learn about our lineup of educational events. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member firm SIPC. Investment advice offered through Great Valley Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. CovingtonAlsina and Great Valley Advisor Group are separate entities from LPL Financial. All performance references historical and no guarantee of future results. All entities are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. Opinions voiced in the show for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial advisor, or tax advisor prior to investing. And if you don't have a financial advisor, come talk to us. This is Anne Arundel with CovingtonAlsina.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.